Hello, dear friends. These days, when a politician says something is highly unlikely, that means almost certainly true, says Jeff Childers. Opinion piece. Fragmented World. There are many overlapping crises. Davos brings together the world's rich. Only half of those invited attend. There are clashes all over the world. Marines rescue General Berger. Germany's defense minister resigns. This show can't go on much longer. Criticism of the White Hats by Melinda Siebold. Let's start. Cooperation in a fragmented world is the theme of this year's Davos Forum, which is examining an unprecedented situation of overlapping crises around the world. The Davos Economic Forum once again raised the curtain on Monday, as the world's richest people, together with world political leaders and representatives of culture and society, debated the issues they see as crucial challenges for this year. Public figures from 370 governments and international organizations are present this year, with a notable presence of European heads of government and in particular from Eastern Europe, the part closest to Ukraine, the scene of a war that will polarize much of the debate. The event will feature more than 200 expert commissions broadcast live. This year is particularly intense due to the convergence of several crises which, although recurrent, have never before matched each other in this way, further aggravating the outlook. The war in Ukraine, the rising of cost of living, food insecurity, etc. News. Klaus Schwab and George Soros absent from the opening of the Davos Forum for health reasons, in quotes. We face many crises simultaneously. What must we do to master the future? Asked Klaus Schwab. Note that he uses the verb master, not cooperate. Half of the participants in the Davos Forum have cancelled their attendance, and there is a risk of false flag. As elites arrive in Davos, conspiracy theories flourish online. You can no longer believe anything they say. It's all agenda, conditioning and destruction. The news is just information and entertainment. What is the purpose of life? It certainly can't be just to eat, reproduce and work. Why do people prefer security to freedom? Lack of faith, low IQ, cowardly personality type, ignorant of reality, brainwashed copycat, high follower. Exposure of the dark side according to John Rawls. The dark side is removing an accountability. They are exposing crimes and they lost the ability to censor because they lost Twitter and they have no control over truth and rumble. The Davos Forum is pushing the idea that the cyber attack is on the way and would be an attempt to shut down communications. The good guys are prepared, and the Space Force and Starlink were created. They knew this day would come and they are prepared for it. Christine Lambrecht resigns as German defense minister. Marines rescue General Berger, according to Michael Baxter. Marines rescued General David H. Berger from a shelter in northeastern California on Friday. They found a semi-conscious General Berger in an upstairs room. His left eye was black and blue, swollen shut, and lacerations covered his face. Someone has restrained him to the bed with ratchet straps. He tried to speak, but his words came out slow and strange, as if he had been drugged. Someone is trying to set up a new phone system separate from the internet, according to Jim Stone. NATO member Croatia declares it will not become a slave to the US in quotes. Expected changes. Benjamin Fulford writes that McCarthy will replace Biden as president. In addition, preparations have begun in earnest to move the United Nations headquarters from New York to Laos. These changes are taking place as those most responsible for the current dysfunctional state of the planet meet in Davos, Switzerland. Either way, they have lost the battle for planet Earth, according to a number of sources. There are signs that this is happening. The Supreme Court rejected the Brunson case to overturn the 2020 election because it would have installed Donald Trump as president. The latest intelligence Benjamin Fulford has is that Joe Biden would be impeached along with Kamala Harris. That would make McCarthy president, but only as an interim figure who would oversee new and genuine elections. Such an election would feature the real Donald Trump. This silly show cannot go on much longer. We are also seeing a very strong campaign to remove Pope Francis. That is why we are seeing new reports that the plot to remove him began in earnest, immediately after Pope Benedict XIV died on December 31st. The sudden death on 10th January of the head of the Vatican Bank, Cardinal Josh Pell, is probably related to this battle. Pell was an ally of the real Pope Francis. In any case, P3's sources say that the Pope has been cancelling all his public appearances for days in a row due to a mysterious illness in quotes. What we know for sure is that in recent weeks there has been some sort of purge at the highest levels of power with the death of China's top power broker, Jiang Zemin, Queen Elizabeth II, Evelyn de Rothschild, Pope Benedict, etc. Current news. Italian actress Gina Lollobrigida dies at the age of 95. The Hemlock grain storage dome is still burning weeks after the fire. Massive explosion at a building housing thousands of lithium batteries in France. A state of emergency declared in several regions of Peru. British Columbia is to decriminalize the possession of hard drugs for personal use on 31st January, a move that has been widely criticized by experts and politicians. Staff will wear bulletproof vests for security, as well as masks to conceal their identity. A royal tomb more than 3,000 years old is discovered in Egypt. A joint Egyptian-British mission in the Egyptian city of Luxor has found an ancient royal tomb more than 3,000 years old, previous and discovered. Problems. Puffness said, there are clashes all over the boat, all over the world, and cuts that demand attention. Many challenges remain to be solved and deepened. There are many problems that have been flagged and highlighted for review and investigation. Clearly, the world was not made in a day or a week, and the damage that has come to the planet was not done overnight. Therefore, undoing the West will take much longer. It is your benefit to pay attention and stay awake, as well as to do your best not to fall for quick fixes and wrong outcomes. And those are plentiful. They will be thrown at you, a lot to throw you, of course, and make your life much more complex. Don't doubt me, but if you do, remember that I was the first to tell you. The war of words you are engaged in these days is not good, and does not clearly mark good guys and bad guys. You will have to work it all out for yourselves. You need your common sense, your critical skills, and your ability to listen to others. Not to undo your own convictions, but to make sure yours are rightly placed. We wish money could be so easily dispersed. This all started for money. Make your mark in the sand. Reveal how you are seeing everything. Define your visuals and pay attention to the details. You have to be sensible and listen to those nudges. You are helped even when you don't give us credit. Do your own detective work. The best thing to do is to go and listen. Pay attention to how you don't do your own mental testing. You all take the words you see and hear as such. You were all taught differently. The service to humankind that is most needed is to be sovereign warriors of the light. The goal is to expand consciousness. Financial changes. Subset. Politics is now a factor in the financial movement of funds to projects, and there seem to be very strong impulses to strengthen the financial sectors in preparation for the obvious changes coming to our financial systems and the movement and settlement of funds across borders. When politics is in turmoil, the movement of funds to projects can become problematic, especially now that there is a big fire. Changes in financial systems are supporting the whole thrust of various humanitarian efforts through benevolent organizations that will perform such services at this time for the benefit of humankind. Our species is going to thrive. We are going to succeed, and major funding is being prepared for projects all over the world. The effort is almost superhuman. There are so many like-minded and like-hearted people who will make a huge difference in what our humankind can do right now. Critic of the White Hats. When Shepherds Kill Their Sheep, by Melinda, Siebold. When shepherds send out wolves and watch as the wolves attack and devour the sheep, when they are not shepherds, they are complicit in the destruction of their flock. They themselves are the predators. When shepherds use their staff to beat their sheep, they are not the protectors of the sheep, but are, in fact, the tormentors of their sheep. When the so-called white hats think that suffering is good, then they are not white hats. They wear dark hats. When the white hats tell lies for whatever reason, then they are dark hats. When the so-called white hats live in ivory towers and eat in the best restaurants and fly first class or in their private jets, then they are not different from their so-called enemy, and they are not experiencing the deprivation and despair of the people they are supposedly working to protect, so they have no moral standing in the situation. It is her opinion, the opinion of Melinda, Siebold. And so for them to say, let them suffer more so that they learn, it is just empty words from people who do not take into account that they are privileged and have access to truthful information while others are left to wallow in darkness and ignorance. And for the so-called white hats to think that millions of innocent souls of missionaries of light can learn the truth of the horrors of this world, but other souls on earth could not accept the truth, is not even logical. If we, the missionaries of the light, can take the truth, the general population could do. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.